to success. God has called us to success. He has not called us to failure. He has bought us with the precious blood of Christ so that we will become a demonstration of his wisdom, of his glory, and of his power. Success is not accidental. Success is deliberately achieved. Success doesn't just happen. Success is made to happen. In the same way, failure is not accidental. Failure doesn't just happen. It is made to happen. Whatever you do in life, you're going to make a choice either to be successful or not to be successful. And we said that God has invested into each one of us. When God created us, he invested into us. And as a good investor, God expects that his investment in our lives will produce rewards and profit. And there are 6 things that God has invested in us. He's invested life, he's invested time, he's invested gifts, he's invested his grace, he's invested his promises, and he's invested opportunities into us. And as a result, we have no excuse when we don't take advantage of these great investments of God. We also said from the beginning that God has given to us, each one of us, an independent will, a guiding conscience, and freedom of choice. Freedom of choice is the most powerful asset available to every human being. Success is a choice we make. God said through Moses to the children of Israel, I place before you life and death. Choose life that you may live. God gives us options. Right from the book of Genesis, he said, I've given to you the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But if you want my advice, choose this other tree, the tree of life. God will always give you options. And for you to make the right choices, you have to exercise your will, your conscience, and you must be able to exercise your freedom of choice to be able to take advantage of the options of life. Success is not just a place you arrive at, it's a process you go through for the rest of your life. You move from glory to glory. Here a little, there a little, precept upon precept. We grow in success. And last week, we considered 3 signposts of success. And as I said earlier, there are about 21 that I'm going to talk about in this series. We've only covered 3. The first 3 are suitable posture. Let's say that together. Suitable posture. That has to do with your attitude. Let's say that together. One more time. Okay. Second is definite purpose. Let's say that together. Definite purpose. You must have something that you are living your life to accomplish. Third is clear perspectives. Let's say that together. Clear perspectives. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Or the people waste their opportunities. When people don't have a vision, they waste their opportunities. I don't know how many of you here have ever built a house, Ghana style. You know, in Ghana, we don't go normally to the bank to collect a mortgage loan to build a house. You start by purchasing your own land, and then little by little you build. Now, anybody who has built a house will tell you this. Many times, by the time the house is finished, you have no idea how much you spent. And then also, you get shocked that you were able to build a house. Because when you were building the house, you still maintained your life. But you realize you've built a house that is worth in dollar terms, probably $100,000. And you wonder, where did the money come from? The money was there all the time. It was your vision that made you harness your resources so that you were able to use the opportunities. If you didn't build a house, the money would have come and gone. Where there is no vision, people waste opportunities. That's why at every time in your life, you must have a vision. Something, a clear perspective that you're working towards. Today, we are looking at the next 4. I'm trusting that I can finish all the 4 within the time allotted. Number 4, desirable price. Price. Desirable price. If you're going to be successful, you must have a desirable prize in front of you. A prize is something that is exceptionally desirable. Normally, a prize is the reward you receive for winning a competition. What do you want to win? What do you want to see as the prize at the end of your life? Or in the next 10 years? Or in the next 20 years? What prize do you want to be crowned with? Each one of us must have a prize in front of us. Something we are running for. It is said that normally during wartime, and thank God we don't have wars in Ghana, but in countries, and I'm not talking about civil wars where everything is disorganized, but proper wars where nations go to fight against nations. Normally, they recruit young people. How many of you know that? Young people, 17, 18, so on. And normally, the military people encourage the young boys who are going to the battlefront to fall in love before they go. You say, why should they fall in love? They encourage them to have a sweetheart and a girlfriend, somebody they want to go and marry after the war. And that love for that girl back home makes them fight hard. Why? Because they want to stay alive to go back home and marry their sweetheart and fulfill their vision in life. So whilst they are there on the battlefield, they don't want to die because there is a girl waiting for them back home. That is their price. And because they have the price, they fight. And whilst they are fighting, they are thinking of their sweetheart. I have to marry that girl, and this man is trying to disturb me, so he has to go. When people have a prize at the back of their minds, they are able to run with determination. Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 to 2. Talking about Jesus. And it reads, therefore we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us. And let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. Verse 2, crucial. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Jesus had something in front of him when he was going through suffering. When they nailed him to the cross, he didn't consider the nails because his eyes were on a prize. The Bible calls that prize the joy that was set before him. Each one of us must have something we are fighting for. Something you are living your life for. And the thing must be worth your effort. So I say that the reward you expect, the prize you desire should be truly valuable. You must have something valuable you are fighting for. It could be for your children to be successful. That's why you are living. That's why you're working so hard, to make your family secure. That's your prize. That's what you want to win. At the end of the day, you have to be able to achieve it. Secondly, your reward should excite you. When you think about what you're going to achieve, as at the end of what you're doing, you should be excited. You should feel happy. It's like the young man on the battlefront who is in a foxhole and he's hearing bullets all around him, but in his pocket is his girlfriend's latest letter. And the letter has sweet words. Oh dear, my heart yearns for you. In the night I see you in my dreams. And your words continue to ring in my ears. I pray that the Lord will keep you on the battlefront. And this man, the bullets are flying all over. He picks up his reward. He reads it. And he said, wow. He folds it back into his pocket, takes up his gun, and begins to fire away. Because something about what he wants to get at the end of the battle excites him to go and face the enemy. You must have a prize you are fighting for. Sacrifice is inspired by reward. Sacrifice is inspired by reward. Consider Jesus. Why did he sacrifice? He saw the reward. Parents make sacrifices. Sometimes they don't sleep. When they are poor, they sacrifice everything, their food, their joy, their jewelry, their clothing, so that their children will have education. Why do they do that? Because they see the vision, the future of their child. That is their prize. And they sacrifice everything. And when you complain and say, well, you are sacrificing too much, they say, don't worry, it's nothing. Why do they say it's nothing? Because they see the end. In life, you're going to have to make sacrifices. Sometimes you have to stay up night and not sleep. And sometimes you have to live that kind of life for about a year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. You sleep 2 hours a night. What will keep you doing that? Definitely not the condition you are in. It is the prize that you want to win. That is what will keep you awake. During exam time, students go through that. In our days, we used to put our feet in cold water, in a bucket, so we stay awake. People were chewing cola nut. It's addictive though, so be careful. But people were chewing cola nut. And people stayed awake. And if they were sleeping, they authorized their friends to bring them back to life. And if you tell your friend, anytime you see me sleeping, wake me up. And you know how students are. They will do anything to wake you up. They will slap you to wake you up, knock you on the head, do whatever because you've given them the permission. But you go through all that night after night, studying subjects you hate, enduring teachers you dislike, forming study groups with people you can't stand, and yet you study with them night after night. They upset you, you don't like them, but you sacrifice. Why? Because you see, I need to pass this exam. If you don't have a prize you are living for, your life will always come to a standstill when you go through tough times. The reward, the prize, makes the price bearable. The prize makes the price bearable. The reward makes the sacrifice bearable. Some people have to work 3 times in a day, especially when you talk to Ghanaians who have traveled to other parts of the world. And you talk to them and you find somebody who is working on 3 jobs. And they sleep about 2 hours. And you ask them, why are you doing this? They will always tell you, I'm doing a project back home. And I have to get some money. My brother is going to school. I have to get some money to pay his fees. My parents are old. I need to take care of them. When my father dies, he will not get a good funeral. I have to make sure I save to honor my father when he dies. There is nobody great in my family. I need to do something for my family. I need to help my sister to start a beauty salon. And these are the things they are fighting for. As a result, they work 3 times. Because of the prize. Under normal circumstance, they couldn't handle it. But what they have placed in front of them helps them to bear the difficulty. Number 5, the 5th signpost on the pathway to success is inspiring passion. Inspiring passion. I am so passionate about this number 5, I wish I could just preach on it alone. Because it's so crucial to what we do with our lives. Inspiring passion. Passion is an intense devotion. It is a driving force for an activity, object, or concept. Passion is a compelling emotion that inspires action. Sometimes we call it zeal. Sometimes we call it fervor. Sometimes we call it enthusiasm. But it is passion. When Jesus Christ overturned the money changers' business instruments, the tables in the temple, the Bible says he did it because of his passion. Do you know what it takes to go and touch somebody's table? Go and ask the AMA chief executive. He will tell you. You go and try, and even hawkers by the road, try and push them out of their business. And see what they will do. Jesus went into the temple, people's businesses. He overturned their tables and they couldn't do much because the guy was so consumed by what he was doing, nobody dared question him. His passion was so strong that it even kept his enemies at bay. Passion. Everybody say passion. We must live life with the passion. 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 6 and Romans 12:11. I'll read them quickly. For if I preach the gospel, this is the Apostle Paul speaking. For if I preach the gospel, I have nothing to boast of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yes, woe is me if I do not preach the gospel. What Paul is saying is, I don't care whether you pay me or not. I don't care whether you encourage me or not. It is my passion, and woe is me if I don't preach the gospel. I am nothing if I don't preach the gospel, because that is my life. Paul was not preaching for applause. He was preaching to demonstrate his passion. Romans chapter 12 verse 11. Not lagging in business, not lagging in diligence, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. The old King James says, not slothful in business, not lazy in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Fervent in spirit, zealous. You need zeal, passion. No wonder that movie was called The Passion of the Christ. All that we saw about Jesus being whipped and being nailed was a demonstration of passion. What will make a person endure that? All he needed to do was, hey, folks, I'm sorry. I'm not a son of God. I was just faking it. I just was trying to make some money, and please, hey, don't kill me for that. And you'll be free. Pilate says, I have power to release you. Just ask for it. He didn't ask for it. Why? Because of passion. He suffered because of passion. What are you passionate about? What are the things that really, really stir up and boil up your blood? If you're going to be successful, there must be something that boils your blood. On the pathway of success, you have to have passion. How do you manifest passion? First, you have to demonstrate intensity of spirit and commitment to your ideals. I am not a great fan of communism and socialism. I'm not a great fan, and I don't fully share in the ideals of communism. But I admire the passion of Fidel Castro. This man is president of a little island called Cuba, of the United States of America. Anybody who is close to America should be afraid, because these guys have all the bombs in the world. They are strong. They are more than Cuba. They have more arms than Cuba. They have more people than Cuba. But this old Fidel Castro stands up and decides, whether you like it or not, I'm going to be who I am. I don't share his ideals, but I'm telling you, it is passion. Fidel Castro is able to speak. He's over 70 now. He's able to speak, stand on his feet, and give speeches 5 hours. That's passion. The people have to listen. And sometimes you see him giving his speech and screaming. He says, hey, slow down, you are growing old. No, sir. If Fidel can have passion for an idea which has been proven bankrupt over time, then how much more those who have an idea which has survived over 2,000 years and is still marching on? You must have passion for what you're doing. Demonstrate intensity of spirit and commitment to your ideals. Act on the basis of self-driven motivation. Passion doesn't wait for encouragement. Passion does not say, nobody helps me. Nobody's encouraging me. When I'm in trouble, all my friends leave me. They will leave you because they are not the ones in trouble. When I have a need, nobody cares. Why should they care? It's not their need. It's your need. And if you don't have self-motivation, that you go out of the world and you want to change the world. Passionate Jesus. You have to be that kind of a person. What do you infect people with? Number 4, with passion, you infuse your environment with hope, with life, with optimism. Your environment is infused with your spirit. People around you want to follow you. You know, when you go to a place like Cuba, Cuba uses old cars. Some of the cars that are there were 1954. Refrigerators, 1953. And the people, sometimes the people walk for long distances. America goes and does propaganda. They have radio stations turned on Cuba to discourage the people. But give it to Fidel. From 59 till now, he's kept his revolution. Why? Because people around him, they know the thing is collapsing. They know the thing is making them poor. But somehow, he infuses them with something. It's his passion. Passionate people give hope to hopeless people. Passionate people make you have the can-do spirit. Passionate leaders change nations. It is said that the Second World War was won especially by two leaders, two presidents, of one prime minister, one president. Prime Minister Churchill of Great Britain and Roosevelt of America. And for your information, President Roosevelt was a cripple. A cripple. He had polio in his legs. But this man could speak on radio and inspire a whole nation to act. Churchill went on the air after Hitler's blitzkrieg and Britain had been bombed, and he said, "We will not surrender. No, never, no, never, never." The people rose up. The army of Germany was stronger than them, but their spirit was stronger than Germany. It's the leader who infuses people with passion. How do your children feel when there is trouble? There's no money in the house. Daddy is come. Yeah. I wish my mommy was here. Oh. Do you infuse your family with passion? With a sense of purpose? Number 6, the 6th aspect for success is mental precision. Mental precision. I love this one too. As a matter of fact, I love each one of them. Mental precision. What is precision? Precision is strictly conforming to a pattern, standard, or convention. It's a degree of refinement. Please follow this carefully, because especially for us in Africa, our biggest liabilities, lack of it. Lack of it. Mental precision. Exodus chapter 25 verse 9. God called Moses to build and inches, centimeters, colors, direction, shades, metals to use. Everything was precisely determined. And this is what God said to Moses. According to all that I show you, that is the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all its furnishings, just so you shall make it. Precision. Precision. God is not the God of generalities. He's a God of precision. If you think in general terms, you cannot really achieve success. You have to be precise in what you think. Precision is so important because it helps you to hit things right on the nail, on the dot. Zero defects. everything on target. I think one of our challenges as Africans is that much of our language and much of our experiences are infused in generalities. And so our thought tends to focus on generalities and not precisions. How do you develop mental precision? You have to pay close attention to instructions. Pay close attention to instructions. When you receive instructions, don't assume you know. How many times have we told somebody something and he's going to do the opposite? And he did it thinking he was pleasing you. The result annoyed you. Then when you show your annoyance, he thinks you don't appreciate. And the reason is because people don't pay attention to instructions, to what they see and to what they hear. You must take note of subtleties and nuances. Sorry for using big words here. I was trying to find the best way to describe this, but I looked through my thesaurus and I just say, hey, let me just fix nuances. Subtleties and nuances. Sometimes things look the same to us. Even some words look the same or seem to mean the same. Glad, happy. Is there a difference between saying, I'm glad and I'm happy? Many people say it's the same, but they are not. There are subtle, nuanced differences. And that difference is what determines meaning. If you don't catch the difference, you will not catch meaning. You see, great things are determined by little things. Recently, Justin Gatlin, 100 meters runner, he thought he won the 100 meters. He got the record. But then they later realized that they shaved 100th. There was a little problem, 100th of a second. So they said he didn't win the record. When you watch the 100 meters at the Olympics or the World Championships or at any big function, the difference between first, second, third is not minutes. It's not seconds. It's not even 1/10 of a second. It's in 100ths of seconds. A second is divided by 100. And that determines who gets gold, who gets silver, who gets bronze, and who gets nothing. So sometimes people run and get nothing, and the difference between them and the one who got everything is so tiny. If you are a Ghanaian, you say, they've all tried, give it to them. But it's called precision. If you can't grasp nuances, if you don't know the difference between a lighter shade of yellow and another 100-degree lighter shade of that yellow, then you can't see nuances. You look at the two and say, oh, it's yellow. Some people call cream yellow, beige yellow, Yellow is yellow. Light green is yellow. Yellow ochre is yellow. And every yellow is yellow. So they go to see somebody's house. It's painted. What's the color? Yellow. Me too, I like the yellow. Then you tell the painter and he gives you another yellow. You say, well, but that's not it. Then what was the specific name of your yellow? It is called nuance. Sometimes it looks like people are doing something too much. But it is that difference that gives all the meaning. Successful people can tell the difference. They know the difference between imitation and genuine. You have to be able to tell differences and subtleties. Mental precision means exactly interpret ideas and concepts into practice. Exactly interpret ideas and concepts into practice. If a furniture is supposed to be made and it's the directives are giving, it's supposed to be 2 inches and 1/100th of an inch extra. Don't approximate it. Because the higher you go, the more precise you have to become. When I started preaching, one of the tasks I gave myself is to learn to mature with my speech in such a way that I will precisely say what I mean in my head. And it was a tough task for me because I realized most times I will listen to myself on tape and be angry with myself. So why did you say that? Because much of what I heard myself say didn't even make meaning to me. Because the language was imprecise. I had used phrases, I had described things in a way that do not fully represent my intentions. And I had to work. And I'm still working because success is a journey. I have not arrived. I am improving. This version of MENSA OTABIL is the 2006 model of MENSA OTABIL. Next year, we will release the 2007 model. It's an upgraded model. It has other factors and other equipment that this model doesn't have. Because I am constantly improving. If you can't tell nuances, I'm telling you, you take a lot of things for granted. How many of you do crossword puzzles? How many of you do crossword puzzles? If you want to be successful, do crossword puzzles. And do the difficult ones. Not the little, who is Amma and who is Kofi and things that you see in the Ghanaian papers. One of my pastimes when I travel every time, I sit on the plane, I take a newspaper, I'm doing a crossword puzzle. Or whether it's a newspaper or a magazine, wherever. I go to bookshops, I buy crossword puzzles to think. Because in crossword puzzles, you learn to think clearly and to define and express things in more precise ways. It's a good way to start developing mental precision. Mental precision means you don't settle for the lazy way out. Don't settle for the lazy way out. It's okay. Nobody will see it. You've done the trouser. One leg is 1/4 of an inch longer than the other. So, 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch. They say, and if you. So, waste na ebe balance in the year. Interpretation. 1/4 of an inch doesn't make a difference. Just pull a little of your waistline and the 1/4 of an inch will just match up with the proper inch. That's the Ghanaian approach. Number 7, my final for today. If you're going to be successful on the pathway to success, you must have deep principles. Deep principles. Your principles must be deep. What is a principle? A principle is a fundamental law. It's a doctrine or assumption. It's a code or rule of conduct. Psalm 11 verse 3. If the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? If the fundamentals are not there, what would be the basis of your action? We don't have to live life by reacting to situations as they come. We have to live life by responding to situations on a certain fixed basis. And that should be your principle. How do you do that? Establish a basis for judging between right and wrong. How do you determine something is right or wrong? For many of us, something is wrong if we are not the ones doing it. And if it is right, if it is us or our friends or our colleagues doing it. But there has to be an objective basis. There has to be a basis which does not change, whether you are in or out. Whether I did it or you did it, wrong must always be wrong, right must be right. There must be a basis, and you must establish it. And as Christians, the Bible becomes our basis. The principle of the Bible becomes our basis for judging between right and wrong. The Bible is no respecter of persons. God is not going to say, well, adultery is wrong. But if MENSA OTABIL commits it, he's built a nice university for me. And he's built a nice church for me. He's doing some great things for me. So just balance it all for him so that, no. God, wrong is wrong. Oh, these days, the pressure is on him. So he has to find other ways to manage his life. Wrong is wrong. Principle doesn't look at your face. It looks at the values it upholds. So you must establish a basis. What is your basis? Number 2, you must always live by your core values. Always live by your core values. One of the reasons why successful people are mostly hated. Do you know that generally in life people hate successful people? It's not only a Ghanaian problem. It's a worldwide problem. It's an American problem. It's a problem everywhere. Because successful people apply certain rules to their lives that most people don't apply to their lives. And they demand certain things that frustrate everybody. They have mental precision. They don't take junk from anybody. And they don't compromise. And sometimes successful people have problems even in their families. Because people want them to bend the rules. And they say, no, sir. And they alienate people they love. Their friends hate them. Their classmates hate them because they feel they are doing something too much. When you are principled, you will not have many friends. Deep principles means that you subject all choices to the established standards. Every choice you make must be subjected to the standards you've set. Being deeply principled means that you seek for godly guidance always. The ultimate principle is the Word of God. There's no principle higher in form, in content, in quality, in benefit to human life than the principles of the Word of God. One of these days I'm going to teach on the 10 Commandments. And I'm going to take it, and I've been preparing this message for about 4 years. And I'm going to take it in a totally different angle for you to see God's rules and how they apply to our lives. When God says, thou shalt not do this, it's not as if you are at table with God and there's meat on the table and you're stretching your hand to pick the table and God hits your hand. Hey, small boy, thou shalt not pick the meat. Because many of us see God like that. It's some very, very cantankerous old daddy who is very particular about the size of meat his children eat. And you're stretching your hand. Oh, I like this. Bang! Hey, you say, thou shalt not touch the meat. So that's how we see God. But God's principles are not that way. God's principles are for life enhancement. And when we properly understand them in the context of our human life and our human endeavors, it becomes probably the most important rules to live your life by. Not probably, really the most important rules to live your life by. So, 7 things we have said so far. Let's rehearse them. Number 1, on the pathway to success, what do? You must have suitable posture. Say suitable posture. Number 2, you must have a definite purpose. Number 3, you must have clear perspectives. Number 4, you must have a desirable prize in front of you. Number 5, you must have inspiring passion that you live by. Number 6, you must have mental precision. And number 7, you must have deep principles. We have 14 more to go. 14 more to go. By the time we finish, I will be like Pilate. I would say, God, bring water. And when God brings the water, I will wash my hands. And I'll say, from now onwards, your failure is your own. But I am persuaded that you are not going to fail. You are going to be successful. You are going to be the head and not the tail. You shall have mental precision. You shall develop passion for your life. And you shall accomplish your dreams. Your life will be great. Your descendants will be blessed. Your great-grandchildren will be blessed. Because you are born for this generation, and because you took a stand that became a blessing for your children and your children's children.
Thank you for watching this video. We believe you've been touched by this message. If you have any comments, kindly leave it in the comment section. And if you have any testimonies or enquiries, you can pen it down in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please subscribe to this channel and don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that you won't miss out on any of our videos. See you in the video on your screen.